13th of September, Rabbi Moore, Parsha Hashavua Ha'azinu.
Okay.
Did we have a discussion about the Jewish people objecting to Moshe dying?
Yes.
So I found the source.
It's mentioned at the end of the Parsha. This week's Parsha. Yeah. If you look in Rashi, it's a super long Rashi here. Oh, super, pretty long. And Pasuk Mem Ches, towards the end of the Parsha. You have it?
Right, exactly. And the point is that the Jews, we're not going to let God take him. And Hashem
right,
said,
same thing. וכך וכך אם אנו מרגישים בוי, אין אנו מניחים אויסוי. אדם שהציונו מצרים וכל אונס הים, והד אונס המון, והגז אונס הסלוב, ואל אונס הבאר, ונוסן אונס התורה, אין אנו מניחים אויסוי. ומהקדוש ברוך הוא הריני מכניסה בחצי היום. And there's going to be nothing you're going to be able to do about it.
I thought you said that wasn't the case.
Sorry?
I thought you said that was not the case.
What do you mean? Where did I say differently?
I thought you said that the Jewish people did not try to stop Hashem from taking Moshe.
So you see from here the contrary. I don't recall ever mentioning such a thing.
Okay.
I think it wasn't me. I deny the charges.
Okay, I withdraw the complaint.
Okay. Okay. Fine, let's go. We had finished, I believe. We finished, we got up to Pasuk Gimel. Right? Mea.
Okay.
Pasuk Gimel.
So it says, Kishem Hashem Ekra Havu Godel Lelokeinu. Okay, so let's see. When I call name of Hashem, Havu is to give praise or to give greatness, I guess. Godel.
Yeah.
So give greatness to.
So Rashi's going to explain ki. Rashi's going to explain what the word ki means in this context.
Oh, okay.
Rashi's going to explain means when. Kishem Hashem Eka. When I call out the name of Hashem, Havu Goydel Lelokenu. Ascribe greatness to our God.
Okay. So Hare Ki Shamesh Bilishon Kaasher. Oh, so it's in the language of kasher, when.
which means when, basically.
Okay. Kimo, ki tavou el haaretz. Oh, when you come to the land. Okay.
That's what Rashi goes on to explain. Kishe'ekro ve'ezker Shem Hashem.
Okay. Kasher ekra ve'azkir. Oh, when I call out and mention. Okay. Shem Hashem. Oh, the name of Hashem. Atem havu godel Elokeinu. Okay, so you give greatness to our God.
To our God, Ubaruch Hu Shmoi, and bless his name.
Bless his name. Okay, so Mikan Amru, so from here, let's see. Let's see, hold on a second. Mikan Amru, okay. Onim Baruch Shem Kavod Machuto. Oh, so they answered saying, blessed is the name of Bikvod, of honor in his kingdom. Okay. Achar bracha she bamikdash. Oh,
Meaning, whenever somebody, a kohen or anybody who's officiating in the mikdash says a bracha, so instead of answering amen, which means basically I affirm, I believe, okay, in the Beis Hamikdash they didn't answer amen. Instead they answered Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusot Le'olam Va'ed.
Oh,
Okay.
That's interesting. It's very interesting.
Sorry?
Don't we say that phrase Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto at the end of Yom Kippur davening, the end of Nila?
We say, but the thing is, whenever we say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, then we say Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusot Le'olam Va'ed. Okay. The Maisa, the source of that is because when Yaakov Avinu was about to die, after Yaakov Avinu had given the blessings to his sons, Yaakov Avinu asked them, I'm not sure exactly how the order of events was exactly, but upon him, he asked his sons to affirm that their allegiance to Hashem, and they said, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. We are allegiant to Hashem, here Yisrael, meaning our father Yisrael, be assured that we believe Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. At which point, Yaakov, upon hearing that, he said, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusot Le'olam Va'ed. Which was like, how should I say, the meaning actually of Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusot Le'olam Va'ed goes into actually the meaning of the word Baruch. What does the word Baruch mean? What does Baruch mean? Any offers from the floor?
It's from the root of a spring, a wellspring.
That is also. But the pshuta, it means like
brings into focus.
Great calf, from a great calf. Right.
Into focus.
But I'm saying it is definitely connected to the word blessing. But what is interesting, so when we say Baruch, Hashem is Baruch, what does that mean? He's blessed. Who blesses Hashem? I mean, what it means, Baruch, blessed, literally means, let's translate it literally. Blessed is the name, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusay, is the name of the honor of his kingdom forever. Now, which would mean the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is blessed, that is the greatest honor we can give to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's Shem Kavod Malchusay Le'olam Va'ed. It's the name of the honor of his kingdom forever. But, so that sounds like, first of all, how can we bless Hashem? Everything comes from Hashem. What does it mean we are blessing Hashem? So the Mefarshim explained, it doesn't mean that when you could often find that when you have in the 13 Yud Gimel Midas, the 13 special attributes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What do we say? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we said it this morning, special slichas. Hashem, Kel Rachum V'Chanun. What does Rachum mean? And Chanun.
Right.
So Rachum means he is being, so literally you're saying means merciful and gracious. Okay? So then why is it used Rachum V'Chanun? You should say Merachem and Mechaneim, or Choineim and Merachem. Why is it to use the terms Rachum V'Chanun, which are a passive form? It sounds like the HaKadosh Baruch Hu has had mercy upon him, and Chanun HaKadosh Baruch Hu has been graced by others. So the Mefarshim explain that Enochanami, something passive, in a passive form, it means it's been something done to it. But it can also mean that is the source, the ultimate source of that attribute. When we say HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Rachum, means he is the source of mercy. Chanun means that he's the source of chen, of gracious, I was going to say, of grace, which means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu shows grace to his creations. But when we say HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Rachum Chanun, it means he is the source of Rachamim, he's the source of chen. Similarly, when we say HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Baruch, it doesn't mean that he is blessed, it means it's that he's had a blessing placed upon him. It means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the source of blessing. He is the source of all blessing. So when we say, what is that? How then do we, if we apply that? So now again, when we say a regular bracha, let's see, Hamotzi Lechem Min Haaretz, Baruch Ato Hashem, you, Hashem, is the source of blessing. Elokeinu, our God, the King of the world. In what way is it manifested that you are the source of blessing? The fact that Hamotzi Lechem Min Haaretz, you produce bread from the ground and you provide food, you provide bread for everybody. That is the way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu shows that he is the source of blessing. So when we say Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusay Le'olam Va'ed, we mean as follows. The fact that Hashem is the source of blessing is the greatest praise we can give to Hashem. Mm-hmm. Baruch, the fact that Hashem is the source of blessing, Shem Kavod Malchusay Le'olam Va'ed, is literally the name of the honor of his kingdom. Means that's the greatest praise, the greatest accolade which we can give to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that is the fact that he is the source of blessing. Okay?
Okay.
So the Maisa, so that's what we explain over what it means over here, that if a Kohen or any other person in the Mikdash would say a blessing, Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, the response would be, instead of just saying Omein, which is an affirmation to that, we kind of respond with a similar bracha to Hashem. No, that's not bracha to Hashem, but it's a praise. That's better to say. A praise to Hashem, i.e., Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Le'olam Vaed. The fact that Hashem is the source of blessing is the how should we say? Is the essence. Is Shem meaning the essence of the honor of His kingdom forever. Because it's the greatest. Put in other words, it's the greatest. It's the epitome of the greatest praise of the greatest honor we can give to Hashem by saying that He is the source of blessing. Okay.
Okay. Good.
Okay. Weiter. Pasuk Dalet. Lou.
Atzur tamim pa'alo ki chol yirachav mishpat el emuna ve'ech ve'ein avel tzadik ve'yashar hu. So the rock, perfect.
Okay, let's translate. Hatzor.
The rock.
Yes.
Perfect.
What is Hatzor?
The rock.
The rock.
Perfect in his work. For all his ways are justice. God of faithfulness,
Kael Emunah. The
without
God of
God of faithfulness,
sorry?
without God of faithfulness,
Right.
without iniquity,
Okay.
righteous,
Without Ovel, I'm not sure it means iniquity. That would be Ovoim. Ovel without injustice.
without injustice, righteous
Let me see.
and fair is he. Okay, Rashi, Hatsur Tamim Kalo. The rock, perfect is his work. Af al pi shehu chazak. Even though he is strong,
Shehu Chazak.
what?
Even Akash Baruch Hu is tremendously mighty. Kishemuvi Puranos al Evrei Ritzonoi. When he brings, I should say, redress, punishment upon those who transgress his will, lo b'shetef hu mevi. He doesn't bring it indiscriminately. Ki im bedin, but rather with justice. Everything is precise. Baruch Hu does everything, it's done in a tremendously precise manner. Somebody who's not supposed to suffer will not suffer. And somebody who is supposed to suffer will. And Akash Baruch Hu can make a very precise development of events that this so should happen.
What about the phrase woe to the Rasha, woe to his neighbor?
Sorry?
Woe to the Rasha, woe to his neighbor.
I don't hear you clearly, I'm sorry. 1 second.
Hold on a second.
I'm going to give you an example. The tsunami, which was in 2005.
Yeah, there's a hurricane that comes to my street because there's a wicked person living on my street, but everybody on the street suffers from the hurricane, not just the wicked person.
right? But there you should know that everybody that's on the street who is stricken by the hurricane was deserving of some sort of punishment. Put it this way, that's the thing. I think that's the greatest, most magnanimous tragedy that's happened in recent times, certainly, was the tsunami in 2005, where 250,000 people died. Okay? Now, every
Indonesia?
single Indonesia, Thailand, the whole area, area around the Indian Ocean there. Anyway, every single one of those 250,000 people were deserving to die at that moment. That's basically the thing. You can't say that somebody died who wasn't supposed to die. And the point is that even though, of course, generally the thing is the marshal, an example, I haven't been experiencing, you have a big bulldozer, right? And you need to break down a very strong wall. So have the bulldozer come along with a very strong, you put a jackhammer, okay, and it knocks down the wall. Now, is the wall going to break down exactly in a straight line with exactly very fine, smooth cuts? It's not going to happen, because that's the way things which generally come in very strong force. There's always like a ripple effect from that force, and maybe that's going to result in that what is affected by the very strong force is going to be indiscriminate to a certain extent, because whoever's at the edge, right? Let's say, for example, the army breaks down the house of some terrorist. Okay, now the neighbors next door are also going to be affected, because there's no way they're going to be able to bulldoze it down the house and the neighbors being affected. But Akash Baruch Hu, however, Akash Baruch Hu is Baal HaMaisim. Akash Baruch Hu is the one in control of everything, and Akash Baruch Hu can bring tremendous force to bring punishment on somebody or whatever. We can do things with tremendous force, yet the level of precision is not detracted in any way. That's basically what we're saying over here.
So all 6 million people who died in the Holocaust, every one of them deserved to die?
Yeah. Not, you say deserve to die, it sounded like a punishment. Every one of those 6 million people was decreed upon to die. And why I correct you is deserving to die, because every single one of those 6 million Jews who died as a Jew and was killed merely for the sake of a Jew, he was a holy sacrifice. He died because he was a Jew. That's somebody who's died al Kiddush Hashem. He died because he was merely for the fact he was a Jew. He died as a holy martyr. So every one of the 6 million Jews who died in the Holocaust was a holy martyr.
Even
in
the
our
wicked
time,
ones.
so the question is, those who maybe I should have I'd rephrase it, except for those who were absolute apikoresim, people who denied the basic belief in Hashem. But anyone who was a believing Jew and was killed merely because he was a Jew, and Akash Baruch had various cheshbonos or whatever, even if he wasn't necessarily religious, he was a holy martyr. So the thing is, so if that's the case, you're saying, well, okay, 6 million people are merited to be holy martyrs. But we have to look at it as rather as a national calamity rather than the calamity for each individual. I mean, similarly, the Chas v'Shalom happens over here terrorist attack or something like that, Chas v'shalom, a Yid dies as a result of being attacked by a non-Jew merely by the fact that he's a Jew, he's a holy martyr. The person who's killed al Kiddush Hashem, he has a holy soul. His soul goes to a special place in Shemayim, designated only for holy martyrs.
As long as he's not a Rasha.
Sorry?
As long as he is not a Rasha.
As long as he's not a Rasha or an Apikoros. Right. Okay,
All right, so
let's continue.
Kael Emuna, a God of faithfulness. L'shalem la'adikim
That tzaddikim,
l'tzadikim tzid kasam, to pay the righteous for their righteousness. L'olam haba,
la'olam haba,
world to come.
in the world to come.
V'af al pi, and even though she'me'acher es tagmulam, and even though that he postpones their payment, sofo la'amer es
Amen es devorov.
la'amein es devarav. In the end, he makes his word come true.
Right. Will make good, make faithful his words.
Ein avel.
And there's no injustice.
Without injustice. Af lir sha'im. The Rashim.
Lir sha'im.
Lir sha'im.
The wicked,
Even to the wicked. Mishalem sachar tzid kasam. He pays the reward for their righteousness, balamazeh, in this world.
so he's saying, even though the tzaddikim are not deserving of reward in the world to come, because they've either denied the world to come, or they've done such averos that cause them to forfeit their portion in the world to come. But nevertheless, whatever good deeds these Rishonim have done, they will be rewarded, they will get reward for it, even if it's only reward in this world.
Tzaddik v'yashar hu. Righteous and fair is he. Mikol matz.
So Rashi is going to translate this a little bit different from what you just translated. Okay?
Okay.
We'll see it. Hakol
Matzdikim alehem es dino. All accept upon themselves the righteousness of his judgment. V'chach roi v'yashar lahem. And this is befitting and fair for them. Tzaddik mipi habirios. Righteous from the mouths of the people, the yashar hu, and fair it is. Veroi lehatzdiko, and it is befitting for his righteousness.
to Latstika means to, not sure whether vindicate is the right word. To consider everything Hashem is as correct and righteous. And just. So basically what Rashi is saying as follows. Kosh Baruch Hu is a tzaddik, means everybody agrees and ascribes to Kosh Baruch Hu this attribute that he is, Kosh Baruch Hu is righteous. But Yashahu, and that is the correct thing to do, to give Kosh Baruch Hu such praise. That's how Rashi is explaining it. Kosh Baruch Hu is tzaddik, but Yashahu, and it's a correct thing to do to ascribe Kosh Baruch Hu with this great attribute. Why Rashi learns it this way, I'm not quite sure. But that's the way Rashi learns. That Yashahu doesn't mean a description of who Hashem is. Yashahu means it's the correct thing to do to give Kosh Baruch Hu such praise that he is a tzaddik.
Why does it say Roy? I would say Roy translates as befitting.
Right.
And Yashar would be fair, straight.
Yasha means, Yasha means in a sense of correct. This is the correct thing to do. I think if you hold on a second, so I translated it.
But Roy means it's correct, the correct thing to do.
I mean, not Yashar.
Yeah, I mean, it says Roy v'Yash.
How I translate tzaddik, he is proclaimed righteous, v'yashahu, and this is the correct thing to call it. I'm not sure why Rashi does this, but that's what I think. It could be as follows. If it meant v'yashahu is description of who HaKadosh Baruch Hu is, it's like saying, he's a great tzaddik, he's also honest. It's like a bit of a, what you have to add, and he's also honest. Obviously, if he's righteous, he's obviously honest. He's straight. So that's what was bothering Rashi L'chaira. If you've already described Hashem as a tzaddik, what do you need to describe Hashem now as a yasha? So that's what Rashi says. The word v'yashahu doesn't refer to this description of Hashem, but its description, what it means is, this is the correct thing, the right, the most appropriate thing to do.
Well,
okay.
Respectfully, I have to disagree with Rashi because the grammar doesn't fit. Tzaddik v'yashar hu.
Well,
blank and blank is he. The English says, like Rashi, the English says righteous and it is proper, but that is not a good sentence.
Sorry, how do you translate it? I mean, I'm not...
Oh, you're translating who as it is.
It is, meaning the fact to give it, to ascribe, to praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu as being righteous, it is the correct thing to do.
Uh-huh. I see. Okay.
Okay. Meir, Pasuk Hey.
Hey, okay. Shechet. No,
Shechet lo.
Lo banav mumam dor ikesh ufital tol. Okay, so corruption is not his. The blemish of his children, Dor Ikesh Vitalto. It says here a crooked and twisted generation. Okay. So Rashi, Shichet the Gomer, the Targumo, Habilo Lahom, according to Unkel's. Is it Habilu? L'chom, according to.
Sorry?
I,
Now we have to get Pasuk Hey, yes?
yeah, I'm on Rashi. Shichet lo v'gomer.
Right.
Says the
Chavilo lahoin lo le. What it
to
means, Ches loy. To corruption to him, loy. Not so. Bonov mumam. That is the blemish of his sons. Dor ikesh, warped generation of Saltoi. They both mean the similar things. Just 1 second. Yeah. Ikesh means perverted and warped generation.
Oh,
The perverted and warped generation. Let's see Rashi here.
okay. So Shichet lo v'gomer.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So Rashi, that's what the Targum says. The first thing is Chabilu lahoy. Right? Corruption is theirs. Lo lay, not his, not HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why we need to mention that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not, we say corrupt, we'll have to see. Bonov mumam. Right? Now Rashi's body says, why is it called it Bonov mumam? His sons, it's their blemish. So Rashi says, Bonov hayu, they were his sons. Okay, and the corruption which they have corrupted, that is their blemish. So Rashi is saying that to use his sons, normally when you say such a phrase, your sons are corrupt. What do you mean, implying that to a certain extent, your son, the corruption which they have comes from you. So that's Rashi saying that that's not so. We just said that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has no corruption in him. So what is it? So Rashi explains, Shiches loy. Corruption to him, not, no. Bonov, his sons, even though they were his sons, right? And they are, should we say, mirror HaKadosh Baruch Hu's attributes, but in this respect, right? That is purely their blemish and not if the source doesn't come from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why this needs to be said, I don't know. That I don't understand really. Why? Have a minute to say that the corruption of the children, the source of the corruption of the children came from the father. I don't know. I mean, we took.
Well, you need it because. You need it because people will tend to say, how can there be a God when there's so much evil in the world? When there's so much bad happening in the world? And this is the answer. The source of the bad in the world is not Hashem.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm not going to go into it now. Maybe we'll see tomorrow. There's an interesting point. That number Mefarshim, the Vilna Gaon says this as well in the Pasuk in Mishlei, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't give punishment. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't punish. The sin itself is what creates the punishment. The sin itself brings the punishment upon the sinner. This is a very deep concept, which maybe I'll speak about tomorrow a little bit, but it's a tremendous thing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not want to concern himself with punishing sinners. HaKadosh Baruch Hu lets the powers of evil which are in the world to take care of the sinner.
So tomorrow I'll ask you, how does that fit in with the Rambam, who says that we need to believe in reward and punishment?
Sorry? Yeah, okay. So the punishment will come about. We'll see. We'll discuss it tomorrow, but that's a shame. Okay, I think we have to leave it here. Okay.
Thank you,
Very
Rabbi.
good.
Have a great day.
Good day. Call too.